So,
So the topic tonight is going to be balance. And, we usually like to talk about the spiritual side of everything, but I think balance goes with everything. So I think the topic can kind of go wherever it wants to go.
I agree. We got a pretty lightning storm coming in. I see it moving this way.
I didn't know if that was a reference for Innovision or for because he's sending all the lightning bolts. Thank you, Innovision.
Right.
Are you able to accept guests? I checked all the settings on that.
I couldn't for some reason, but when I'm not in the box, I can.
Hey, Benny.
Welcome up.
Hey, everybody.
How's your week been?
Finally over. Thank God.
To be honest, I've had the whole week off work and it's been nice. So I go back to work tomorrow, but no big deal. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I have off tomorrow. It's my only day off, but it's my day off. So I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, how are y'all enjoying the energy of the blue supermoon in Aquarius?
Wish I could see it. That'd be so much nicer, but it's stormy where I'm at. It was cloudy last night.
Did it rain?
It's raining now where I'm at. And last night it was cloudy and kind of crappy, so you couldn't see the sky or the stars.
I actually really love it here when it happens like that. I know I can't see it, but when it's literally raining moon water, so it's like the whole ground and area is cleansed, and all of my outer protections get cleansed and charged, and I appreciate it a lot when it does that.
Yeah, I just wish that I lived in an area where they didn't do so much weather manipulation and you could see the sky more.
Yeah.
It was clear skies last night. I got a really good view. I did a lot of moon gazing last night. So, but as far as the energy coming in, I really try to enjoy all the energy shifts we have and try to perceive them in a positive way, and it usually affects me in a positive way. So, but at least that's my intentions.
Yeah, the full moons don't I don't really notice it much during the full moon. It's the new moons that always get me energetically. They're always a little rough. It's like getting on a roller coaster, hitting that first dip. It takes a little bit of adjusting, but then you can go with the energy.
Yeah. Um, well, my man and my brother here, I think both could tell you. With me, I'm energy sensitive, so I'm all the time like feeling things and picking up on the things. So for me, it's like it doesn't. New moon, full moon, 3/4 moon, rising, ascending. Like I feel all the little shifts, and I'm like, oh, hey. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm an energetic sponge, so being around a lot of people, I absorb a lot of energy. Good and bad.
Uh, I don't really sponge anymore. Now I'm more like just flow and transmute. And I see you. I see you down there, Robin. We're sending you much love and good thoughts and well wishes for your little one.
Oh yeah, sending you and your family peace, balance, love, and light, and plenty of healing energy through this time.
Innovation, would you like to come up? I understand that, Robin. I'm just, I'm really happy you were able to be there for her, though. It's really strong for you of what you had to go through to do so. So I just wanted to say that you're a really strong person. Much love.
And remember, on this journey, every day you wake up, you're constantly transforming. So you're not the same person you were a week ago or even a day ago. So each day you get stronger and you get a little bit better. So you got this. Hey, Jenny.
So I think we can go and just start off on the discussion. People can send an invite as they want to join. And tonight we're just going to mainly be talking about balance. I mean, that could be balance within ourselves, balance within relationships, within friends, balance within us and nature. There's just a lot of things that we can talk about. So I think at first we can just kind of talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about balance and how it influences you in your life, and go from there. Oh, looks like we have a guest request. Oh, hi, Robin. Hi, Robin. Hello. Much love.
Yeah, no. I'll have to work on that.
It'll be all right. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, for sure. I
Has
feel
everyone
like
had
I
a-
heard, can you hear me? But I couldn't hear her.
Yeah, she's got some low service right now, but let's see if it gets better. The bars just went away, honestly. So.
Yeah, thank you. Slightly. Yeah, actually. Stay in that spot. You gotta move half an inch back. Where'd you move to? Because that little bit of movement was like great at the end there when you're telling us you're leaving. This reminds me of balance, and it takes me back to an old memory of my grandma. And she would have me go and adjust her rabbit ears for her so she could watch her soap operas and her Bob Ross. And I was the only one allowed to touch the TV or get near the TV. She would let me play right there beside it. Because she knew I didn't care what she was watching or what was going on, but it helped her signal get better. All right, that's my first balance. That's what you get.
I love it. It's still balance regardless. I have a story to back that up. So back in the day, we had an old Jamboree motorhome, and the antenna on it wasn't that great. So if I was there touching the knob of the antenna, it would come in clearer. And my dad had me sit there and hold on to it while he was able to watch not the whole news, but just the weather forecast, which was about 10 minutes. It wasn't that long, but that I do have a story that reflects that. That's funny.
This is why you're my brother from another mother. I already knew.
Is that better?
So much better.
So much better. Awesome. So now I just gotta sit right here in the lobby and have all these people look at me like I'm weird, but that's okay. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a crowd and they'll listen.
There you go.
Spark some curiosity.
Right? I love this topic, and that was so awesome that honestly, like, this whole like non-reception reception issue is part of balance as well. I like how you integrated that, Fire Ash. And oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm just going with the flow. We're all here together.
Right. So like, in a way, I feel like the situation I'm in is kind of part of a perfect example of trying to find the balance, because so at what point, like in the role of a mom, right, you're trying to be here for your kid, right, but you can't, there's only so much you can do without sacrificing your own like healing and your own stuff, right? And that's kind of like where I'm at right now, and trying to watch my daughter figure out her balance, because she's formed this life that she had to like live, that I wasn't involved in, right, with all these people that she's had in her life for years. And then I'm here, and these people come around, and she's just like, it's not like she's embarrassed of me, but they just don't know, that I'm part of her life like that, right? And so she has to put on this facade or this mask for them, and then a different mask for me. And I understand where she's coming from, and I understand why she does it, but trying to explain to her that she doesn't have to feel bad for it, and I'm here for her when she needs me. But I don't want to put her in that kind of position where she has to feel pressure of all that while she's trying to heal from this freaking car accident. And yeah, it's kind of wild.
I agree, and I think you're feeling a lot of. Of course, you're feeling a lot of emotions, but on the other side, besides the daughter, you have an extreme polarity going on right now. And I understand when you talk about where you need that balance as well for yourself, for your own boundaries, um, for your own sake of mind, for healthiness. So I feel you. And I knew that just from your discussion on AT's live the other night that it was going to be difficult, and you took that lead for your daughter, and I'm proud of you. I just wanted to say that. I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you. Honestly, my whole thing was I just wanted to show her like I could be a mom when she needed me. You know what I mean? When she needs me, I can be there. Because it's not an opportunity that I've had a chance to be part of, I guess, for most of her life. And when she reached out to me in March, that the only thing she really said was that all her life she's just wanted her mom. And so I feel like that was kind of like proving to myself that I could be here as a mom for her, and then proving to her that I could be here as a mom for her. And I guess I kind of have to just remember that that was my ultimate goal, and whatever happens after that is just other parts, subcategories, I guess, of the healing process. So yeah.
I appreciate you sharing, because you are in a somewhat of a vulnerable situation right now. So I appreciate you sharing. It means a lot to the community as well. Kind of like, for instance, you wanted to be there for your daughter. The community, it showed the other night that they want to be there for you as well. And I think it kind of showed you the light that you're not alone, and you have people that, can help you in these situations. So I really got to see some light shine in the community, and we do see that from time to time. It's beautiful. So there's a polarity in the community. There's times that we are all working on triggers, and then there's times where it's time to shine, and that shining happens. So it's beautiful. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, I agree completely. And thank you for allowing me to come up and share. I appreciate it.
Of course. Vinny, would you like to speak about balance and how that is important to you in your life?
Okay, yeah. So to kind of expand on the reception, right? So think about a balance in this way, right? So if you're always worrying about like what happened yesterday, or you're worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, you're completely out of balance, which means you're not going to be able to get the reception you need to hear your gut, your inner voice, the thing that tells you what to do. In every situation, when something happens, right, there's a response, and sometimes when bad things happen, right, you get that immediate like fear response, like, oh no, I got to do this or I got to do that, right? Like that panic sets in. But if you allow yourself to step away from that feeling for a second and rethink about what you can do, you'll hear yourself. You hear the guidance from your higher self telling you what you need to do, what you should be doing, not what your body thinks you should be doing right there in that moment. So that's kind of what I use in the balance. It's like when you come into these situations that are overwhelming, sometimes you got to step back and take a step away and just think about it for a second and be like, is this really the right course of action? Or is there a better thing that I can do?
Definitely. And, having the level of awareness really helps tremendously, which you have, and you've been able to utilize that in your life. We talk about a lot of times that all is mind, and there's a lot of truth to that. So our mind is a big part of what influences our body. We can create just a healthy balance within our body controlled through our mind, creating what I call healthy endorphins compared to not healthy endorphins, positive thoughts compared to negative thoughts. And either or can create an unbalance within our system just by thought alone, without going into other things that we ingest in our surroundings. So, having those level of awareness allows us to either take control of it, stop it in its place, or control our own energy just by associating certain emotions with certain thoughts. So, but yeah, I started rambling, so I'm sorry. Ash, would you like to continue on besides some antenna rituals? Not rituals, but I don't know. I was trying to make something up real quick and it did not happen.
Yeah, let's talk balance for a second. So I remember a couple of years ago when I was receiving prophecy and connecting with certain higher versions, higher dimensional versions that I connect with. And I went into the Akashic Records and I received the Scales of Justice and played over top of it, like superimposed, where you could comfortably see both things. You had all the colors of the world, the different tribes, the way they danced in their ceremonies. And the way it didn't matter when in time that imagery was from. The balance is still there, and humans were called to be amongst each other. We're also called to not be at times. During that time, it was a lot of big foundational messages for me, connecting with the prophecies and such. But it was later, shortly after, that I actually had my chart done to where I found out my ascending sign was a Libra. And that made a lot more sense to me moving forward from there. But balance is the difference in doing shadow work and going into a depressed state of mind. You get what I'm saying? Like, balance is knowing that you need to drink your water, and you need to eat food, you need to rest, take care of your body, and take care of your mind to truly nourish your soul, and understanding that they all matter in the flow. So that's kind of where I wanted to take it.
It's like we lost Robin, but I appreciate that. That was very insightful. I like how you talked about, just people as a whole. Let's just say society, even just in cultural societies, finding balance. Even it's it's kind of, you see even in nature how it works with humans. The reason I say that is, so in nature everything is in a constant equilibrium, trying to be in a constant equilibrium. But as one elements create an equilibrium, it offsets something else, and then just it's a constant chain reaction of equilibriums constantly happening. And that's kind of the same concept with humans. We can see a balance within a whole, but individually there will be balances that will offset other balances. Even I'm just kind of using that as a concept. But where you, like, if things are in a constant equilibrium, that also means that they're almost always in balance, but always almost never in balance as well. As a whole, but individually you will see balance in these different sectors of the whole. So that's kind of what I was visualizing when you said that, and I appreciate everything you said because it's always amazing. So thank you. Vinny, do you have any other stuff you'd like to contribute, maybe on just what you see out in the day-to-day as maybe what's you might interpret to be off balance or imbalance, or you can speak about just
Well, yeah, you can. Yeah,
whatever you
what I see, you can see the people who are out of balance. You can see them. That's part of the fun of being who I am. It's like read people like books. You can see when people are out of balance. I know I've lived out of balance before. I used to be overweight, and that was because I had unhealthy eating habits and unhealthy coping mechanism habits. So I overate, and that's my life was really out of balance. And then it became, because of that out of balance, it developed bad negative tendencies, which took a lot of time and a lot of shadow work to break. So balance is definitely important. It's just like in the tarot card, right? The Fool, the one that's just like bouncing along his journey, right? So he's kind of doing like a fine little dance, but it's really he's balancing along his way as he's going through his journey through life, experiencing life, and seeing the beauty within and without.
I like that. And that's, finding balance within ourselves. That's extremely important for healthy reasons and for growth reasons. And the reason I say that is if we're not comfortable in the energies that we experience as we grow, because we need growth, we need to keep moving along. We don't want to sit stagnant. Nothing actually ever does. But we need to be able to feel that energy authentically, in my opinion. So, for instance, not with any type of fear or anything that could be creating an unbalance in our energy attached while we're experiencing these steps. And so if we can find balance in all of our growth steps through either it's healing or spiritual steps through your path as you're ascending, all these, in my opinion, to feel it in a natural state, we should try to find balance within all of it. And so it's, it's something that I really tried to consider in my path, which it wasn't balanced for a long time. I had anxiety for years that I just, it took a lot of meditation, a lot of shadow work, and then my anxiety went away without medication. But those steps, I had to find balance in myself just to try to cope with life. Even taking medication, you have to try to find balance within yourself to coincide with what you're intaking. It's just, so your mind really needs to be there with whatever you're ingesting as well. you need to be able to accept it, and which allows it to work much better. So I'm starting to ramble again. I do that a lot. But do I have any other guest requests? No. Okay.
So I'm gonna flow with this for a moment, bro. Since it's a very comfortable light setting tonight. So I enjoy comfort. It's how I roll. It's my natural disposition. So balance to me, when I found temperance, to go back to what Vinny was talking about earlier, when I think of the tarot deck and I think of balance, I think of temperance. And the way the angel is, I go back into a reminder. It's like a built-in reminder, that frequency. And it puts me back in a place of grace and reminds me that I'm not my feelings and I'm not my thoughts. I am my soul. I am this point of energy. Here having this experience because I want to have this experience. Now I know I'm having it, but the balancing point for me is realizing that how I choose to view what is happening is how it actually exists to me. I don't deny my shadow. Instead, I work on it. I heal it. I understand it. I accept. I do not deny my light. Instead, I choose to honor and walk in it and anchor it here in this existence. I know that what balance has brought me is an understanding of what I can actually control. Therefore, what actually calls for my energy to be applied. I don't negate anyone else's existence or divinity because I see all as equal. Yet in the balance of existence, I recognize that I have a built-in system that helps me navigate my intuition. My intuition is my first point of balancing in this existence. So, where I want to go with that is this: what other fundamental tools, we all have intuition, or what other fundamental tools do we use to help us in our existence as who we are?
I thought I'd unmic. That's beautiful. Because that's really what we're doing, is going back into the existence of what we really are. And I love how you talked about you are not your thoughts, because we're not. We're not our thoughts. We're not our emotions. We're experiencing them through experience. Those emotions are predetermined through experience, and it's all been experience. Having that awareness really, it helps us dig into shadow work and have it as a continuous. And we can find balance in doing that with our day-to-day, with self-care and self-love to balance that out as well. Because we all know that when we dig in deep into shadow work, it takes time. And with that time, we need to balance that energy that we're sitting within. So I think this every aspect of anything that we do in a healthy manner really takes some type of balance. When we talk about just molecules, it takes a certain amount of different type of molecules to create neutral, to create that balance. And so we have to think about the polarity of things and find our happy medium. And that happy medium as our ascension, that's like our natural energy. That's what we produce at a constant. Not even having to force ourselves to have positive thoughts. It's what we're at a constant. And that can change. We can shift our balance up. We can rise in energy through shadow work, through replacing energy that was holding us down with energy that lifts us up. And then our balance will change. We'll adapt to that energy and our balance will change. So I love that. That's why I like this topic, because, just anybody has experienced the importance of balance in their life in some type of aspect. So, anybody else would like to chime in and just maybe some intuition thoughts that might pop up, because both of you are led by spirit, let's be honest.
Well, see, everybody, they put this negative connotation on shadow and shadow side and the darkness. But think about it this way, right? Why does light exist? To illuminate the darkness. So if you didn't have the darkness, you wouldn't have the light. So you have to appreciate the darkness for what it is. It helps shape you, it helps mold you, it helps bring you to where you are at right now in this moment. And I'm sure if we all sat here and we could all probably tell a couple stories, or maybe even more than one story, that of times that were dark that we've gotten through, right? But we've all gotten through it. We've all here now. We've all come to the understanding that there's something better in this life, and that we're trying to live that. We're trying to achieve that. We're trying to wake people up by being the example of how to be happy and how to be balanced, even through the chaos. And that's the most important thing, because there's going to be storms, and there's going to be times where you're gonna shake your head. But if you can remember what you've learned, and remember to be balanced and take things as they come, and not try to look for the outcome in everything, you'll do okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna segue off of that because it's vital people recognize things are changing. Here's spot on, you both are with that. Things are constantly changing. That is a constant is change. That's the evolution of existence. Creation. We're creation driven for that reason. Change is constant. I think it's funny when people are like, I don't like change. It's like, yeah, but you do, actually. You do. That's why you're here. You may not like drastic, sudden change, that's understandable. But the weathering of the storm comes in loud and clear. The oracle in me speaks to it with the thunderstorm rolling in, because the thunder beings are here. The light beings are here. We can look any direction we want to look and see and experience the divine in every moment. From at the gas station to microwaving a bowl of SpaghettiOs. And recognizing that it all exists in a natural balance, in a system that you are a part of. And that you have these beautiful tools built inside of you to be able to find that peace, to find that comfort, to find that place of grace, of unconditional love inside of you, to where you can have that feeling no matter what storms you are facing. To where you can find gratitude in every single moment that exists, for the sake of it existing. Stand in the eye of your own storm. Recognize your place of divinity, your own sovereignty.
Thank you, both of you. Well, one of the things that you stuck with me is when you talked about change, and not many people want to change. And you're right, that dramatic change, it's leaves impressions. That's the best lessons. It really is those impressions it leaves. Don't get me wrong, some of them need shadow work, but they're the best lessons after they're done. And we've kind of done that to ourselves. We invented comfort. We invented AC and conventional heat and conventional clothing to keep us not necessarily adapting to the constant flow of everything. And except for our bodies adapting, which, don't get me wrong, there's crucial situations that you need, shelter. Don't get me wrong. I'm just stating that with the inventions of all this stuff that we've created for comfort, it's also made it to where we're not susceptible to change as much as we probably would be if we lived more in the elements. It's kind of a process of adapting. I think that our adaptation rate has went down severely as far as how fast we adapt compared to what we used to. And, I think that reflects on us spiritually, it reflects on us in every aspect of our life. But, I'm not saying we need to change that, just being aware of that allows us to maybe make these changes that we need to make and realize that I am in my comfort zone and it's time to step out of that comfort zone for growth. Those decisions have to be made. So I appreciate both of you. If there's anybody in the chat that wants to come up, just send a request. We're discussing balance and pretty much every aspect of that anybody wants to discuss. It doesn't have to be spiritual. It could just be nature. It could be anything that you want to speak about. Or you just want to come up and hang out. So, um,
Well, like you were saying, right? So one of the things that we can change, and we can all impact our changes, we need to have more connection with our environment, our outside environment. I'm not talking about like your, actual right outside, but like the outside environment. We've gotten to a point where nobody goes outside anymore. No one experiences the beauty in the machine that's all around us that operates 100% of the time all day long. And we need to have more time outside and enjoy the beauty that's all around us. That's part of the journey too, is being present. If you're not present in the moment, you're going to miss everything. So you're going to miss those beautiful things that are all around you.
I agree. And it creates an off balance between humans as a whole, and nature. So there was a question, how come things got out of balance in the first place? I think that's part of separation. Anything that we separate from, we will create an off balance between that. So if we separate ourselves from nature itself, then we might be going against nature. Don't get me wrong, nature is the fastest adapting thing that we can see around us. So it is very susceptible of change. But it doesn't mean it needs to be done in an unnatural way. But regardless, that's a whole different topic. So there's many different ways that we can have solutions, though, if people are feeling off balance. And I think one of the first steps is just, of course, being aware that you are, whether it's whatever it might be. I mean, if it's a chemical imbalance, whether it's energy itself, which could be, when I state that, I mean, it could be constant triggers that you're not necessarily realizing what's going on in the situation that you're in. So it could be a relationship that's just having these constant stems, and things in their boundaries need to be put up or changes need to be made so you can have your healthy balance. It's easier said than done, but there's a lot of things in our surroundings that can create an off balance within ourselves just by putting ourselves in those constant situations. It could be school, it could be work, it could be even your household. It's just life happens, and we deal with our decisions through life. And with those decisions can create a very unhealthy unbalance within ourselves. There's a lot of different aspects, but let's just go with like energy within ourselves. What's a good healthy manner and solution to always have a healthy balance, even if we're going through what could be perceived as a hard time? So, I know Vinny would have some good input on just ways to keep in a positive outlook. I understand that you've said you've walked to work in the rain, but you had a smile on your face the whole time because of just certain ways. So, do you have some good pointers for people to be able to stay in a positive mood and have a positive aspect on life?
I do actually. So it's when you get to a level in this journey, right, where you know what bliss feels like. You know what that good energy feels like. So it's easy to recognize when that energy's not in that balance, because then you're not, you're like, wait, this isn't the experience I want. So when you get to that point where it's the experience you don't want, you're like, this isn't what I want. That's when you have to you have to slow it down a little bit, right? Because in those moments where things aren't feeling right, that's where your mind wants to speed things up. But you should do the opposite of what your mind wants to do and slow things down a little bit. Shift your perception, right? You can either be the thimble on the Monopoly piece on the board from the board's point of view, or you can shift your perspective outside of it and above it so that you can see the whole picture, so that you can, either maybe make a choice that so you don't repeat that same cycle the next time, or just being able to stop and breathe for a second. I like to, when I get all worked up, because that was one of the things, like you were talking about anxiety. I dealt with anxiety my whole life and depression. So I know all about when like things get overwhelming and you get that feeling. It's like a pressure that builds inside you. And it's crazy how it acts, but like I can recognize that when I get that feeling, so I know when I need to step away. So it's just having that self-realization that, things aren't right. That'll help you too. Trusting your gut and your intuition. And if it doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't right.
Thank you. That was awesome. And I agree 100% with everything you said. It's so you've lately in the past like 6 months, I've noticed that your inspiration came in, your clairvoyance is, I don't even know the terminology very well, but it's been coming out. And that's what I meant by earlier is, spirit comes out of you guys, and it's amazing whenever and the reason is it's your clarity. You become this awareness, and that's what, in my opinion, spirit does. That's when we're coming back to spirit, we're gaining awareness. People gain awareness of gifts, and they're able to utilize those. And people gain awareness to just things all around them. Sometimes it just starts with like a matrix that they call the system, which is through society. And they start waking up to those factors. And those are the same awakenings that people even have, not same, but same aspect of when people are becoming aware and awakened on a spiritual level, when they have certain experiences. But that's what it is. It's the mind looking past these veils that are there and able to see beyond it and see what's going on. And that awareness just grows and grows and grows. The more you seek, the more you find. It's amazing. So, but Ash, you want to talk about some solutions? I know you know many different ways to transmute and keep in a positive manner. I've seen you do it live action. So.
Yeah. So I'll take you on a quick little journey of balance and my recommendations and why. So, balance was something that after my grand awakening on my 33rd birthday, I was basically supernova in my energy. I mean, it was channel after channel. I was unstoppable. And then I learned how that wasn't true. And balance came to be present in my life. I started learning more about the system that I'm actually in, because I knew I wanted to have control over how I flew. I didn't just want to be an arrow or a rocket shooting off. I wanted to actually be able to maneuver. So I started learning more about me using different charts and different systems, human design, personality tests. Yes, even personality tests. Because I started looking at my well-being. And when I said being, I wanted to be it. So I started finding balance and understanding that if I wasn't honoring the sacred vessel I was in, it didn't matter how much spiritual energy I had. I wasn't attuned to my mission and what I was doing. So, recognizing that my emotional health and my mental health and my physical and my spiritual health all needed to be taken into consideration as a part of my daily existence. So that to me would be biggest recommendations is start understanding the system that you're actually in. The more you understand you and what makes you operate and what makes you tick and what makes you glow, the better you can anchor in the divine in this here and now.
Much love, little ducky. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest. Thank you. I appreciate you. I always have. But I'm probably going to say that every time you speak because it's just me being honest. So,
I appreciate you too, bro.
I'm really just relaxed tonight. So I didn't even write down any questions or anything. I've been off all week. So today's been kind of like my last day of not working for a week. So I've been really relaxed. But, as far as balance goes, or solutions to keep a positive manner, to keep, let's just say, my constant flow, which my constant flow is pretty positive. I seek love and I seek positive solutions for things. I've trained my mind to do so for the past 10 years. So I've called myself more of a solutions person. And that's what I really try to think about when I'm in issues. So I'm not necessarily pondering on what's going on. I'm pondering on the next steps I want to need to take, which helps me cope in the situations. Also, if it's something that's affecting me in an emotional state, some reflection helps me to know that I've been there before and everything worked out just fine. And this is just a momentary situation that's going to shift into a positive, more positive energy from where I'm at in the moment. I have too experienced depression and a few times in my life, and that's kind of a prime example of how our mind controls a lot to do with our natural energy. Because it didn't matter what I ate, how many energy drinks or coffee I drank, I just didn't have any energy. It wasn't until I started thinking more positively that I would actually just have more natural energy. and it's kind of like a motivational thing. And it's going to motivate you yourself just through your own thought patterns and your own natural energy itself on life, on the perspective of life. So something that helps me is I do meditate every night, and some sessions are long. I haven't done long sessions in a while, to be honest, but I do 20-30 minute sessions, and I sit within the things that I'm grateful for in life. So I'm sitting within that energy before I go to sleep, and that way I naturally wake up that way. And I do. I naturally wake up feeling grateful. The first thoughts that go in my mind are the things that I'm grateful for, and I don't even have to think about them. They're just there, and I then start my day. So even in stressful situations, because like the job that I'm in, there's times that I literally get 100 to 200 jobs within 4 or 5 days that we still have to get to. And it gets stressful because we can't help everybody at once. And that's the whole reason I started doing this 20 years ago. It's because we got to actually help people in relief. And I was able to comfort them in the situations, to explain the whole process, to allow them to understand everything, because knowledge gives you comfort. Usually most people fear the unknown. So once you have established the process of everything, and they have somewhat of some expectations of that situation, their comfort level gets much better, and go on from there. I don't know why I'm speaking about that, but it's just part of life, I guess. That's what I have to experience. But I still have to find my balance while I'm out there trying to help all these people through a disaster, a national disaster. So I have to find that balance within myself as well. And meditating every night helps that tremendously. Allows me to get back to me, my natural energy, who I am, as I've been pouring it out all day, trying to comfort other people. Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to close down here in about 10 minutes, roughly, but do you guys want to just do some final thoughts for the night and just about, balance, anything you want to talk about? You can talk about awareness, it doesn't matter. Just whatever you want to talk about. Make sure you do a shout out to yourself, where people can find you if they want to be able to communicate with you and other means, stuff like that. Vinny, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so the thing that helps me the most, and this is what helps me, and it's always helped me, is music, right? So in those times where things are a little overwhelming or things are a little chaotic, find that song. Everybody has one or a couple that gets you all pumped up, and no matter what happens, makes you want to dance. Put those songs on and just dance. Because you know what? You can't be upset if you're dancing. You really can't. Because it's a fun activity and it helps raise your energy. Laughing's also a good one too. You can't be sad if you're laughing. So always remember that. And I'll leave you guys. Oh, and I guess you can find me on here on TikTok. I write poetry and I post it on my feed there. So there's plenty of poetry there. So I'm going to leave you with this. Forget about yesterday. Go out today and rise like the phoenix from the ashes and burn bright like the sun. Be great and be inspiring. Go forth with confidence and love. Everything's going to be just fine.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. Yeah, music used to be a huge part of my life. It's not as much anymore. It's because the times that I would get off work and go and jam out to music, I go home to my son, and I have usually a certain amount of time with him, and then he goes and plays his iPad or goes and plays his toys, and I go and do whatever I'm going to go do. But we always dedicate that little bit of time every day in our day-to-day life, and that kind of brings me back to my normal energy, like just brings me back to my family energy, and that's the energy I love. I like how you said laugh, music, those are amazing things. Find something that makes you laugh. Those things help, smile. Just literally smile right now, and you can feel your energy shift just from a smile. It's crazy. So it's amazing how endorphins are programmed to just our own gestures that we've programmed to our mind. So, but Ash, would you like to talk about any final thoughts?
Yeah, guys. So everyone here should know you can find me Monday through Thursday from noon to 2 Central Standard Time, doing Oracle Lives here on TikTok. I do intuition training and just general spiritual conversation. Good, safe place. But as far as balance goes, I want to paint a picture of how I once seen the divine. Reached out with its hand, creating space and distance so that way he could better appreciate his own creation. When I look at balance, I recognize that it's fundamental. It's as fundamental as the air we breathe to our existence. It takes the correct balance of chemicals to create oxygen. There is a natural balance and order to existence. We need only hone in on it, be a part of it, recognize that we are divine energy in the flow of creation itself. That we are the marbles and we are the waves. At all times, something is ending, and at all times, something is beginning. And the beauty of it is, only you can control where you place your awareness. What you give your energy to. I'm highly grateful for all of you here tonight for an amazing in-depth conversation on balance and the beauty that it brings to our existence. Much love. I'll see everybody here next Sunday, same time, same place. My gratitude.
Thank you, Frederick. So my final thoughts are basically just we need to embody ourselves and not allow outside influences that don't resonate with us. Influences are great, they're amazing, they promote growth. But so with that being said, setting boundaries while we're doing this so we can have a healthy balance within ourselves. And it's really my final thoughts on boundaries for tonight. It's just making sure that we can stay balanced in a healthy manner throughout life, because life is going to shift constantly. And having that level of awareness allows us to be able to get through those hard times and still perceive them in a positive manner, in a positive way, to where it doesn't affect us, doesn't affect our emotions, it doesn't affect our neurological system. So there's a lot of chain and reactions that happen within the mind and the body that happen in a positive way or the opposite, depending on what we flow and how we let things affect us. So not allowing outside influences and just allowing your higher self, whatever it is that you believe in, the highest self of you, to just guide through you. And I think everybody will perceive life in a much more pleasant way. But with that being said, hey Eddie, it's good to see you. I'm glad you came in. We're just cutting off though for tonight. Much love, brother. If you can, maybe we can talk here shortly. So I think we're going to go ahead and cut it off for tonight. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday evening, and we'll be back here 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we'll put the promotion out for what the topic will be. So much love, everybody.